Good afternoon. I'm Frank Aquila, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm delighted to be able to welcome you today and thank you for joining us. 9 months ago, the Board of Trustees formed a search committee with the task of identifying candidates to be our next dean. Today, I'm delighted to announce that the committee has successfully completed their assigned task. This is a momentous occasion because the person I will introduce to you in a few minutes will only be our 10th dean since Brooklyn Law School was founded in 1901. Back in 1901, Brooklyn was just finding its place in the newly consolidated city of New York. The Brooklyn Bridge was relatively new, and the subway connection to Manhattan was still a few years away. But then as now, Brooklyn was a vibrant, multicultural community where people from all over the country, really from all over the world, came to pursue their dreams. And Brooklyn Law School was always part of fulfilling many of those dreams. When Brooklyn Law School opened its doors, classes were only in the evening. Yes, the evening. Day classes came later. As Professor Crea would often remind us, unlike the more prestigious law schools across the bridge, from the very beginning, Brooklyn Law School admitted women, people of color, immigrants, and children of immigrants. Offering opportunities to diverse and underrepresented communities was part of the law school's DNA in 1901, and it remains part of our DNA today. Central to our identity is our faculty, and it has long been a source of pride. Our professors are among the most respected in the nation, and year after year, they are recognized as the best for scholarly impact, even though we are an independent institution and not part of a large research university. Long known for their outreach into the community, our faculty afford our students practical training through our nationally esteemed clinical programs. Thank you, Stacy. Our adjunct faculty includes leaders in government, business, the judiciary, and private practice. They keep our students apprised of what is happening in the legal field in real time. There's been much written of late with respect to law school rankings, so I have to comment on it. I have long rejected rankings based on opaque formulae disconnected from the marketplace for legal talent. 3 surveys in the last few weeks validate my view about how our graduates perform outside these doors is the best indication of the quality of the legal education provided by our faculty here at Brooklyn Law School. Our recent ranking as number 34 in the American Lawyers Go-To Law Schools, as number 2 in Billboard's 2022 list of leading law schools of the top music lawyers, and number 9 on the Hollywood Reporter's list of top law schools for entertainment lawyers, provide a much more accurate reflection of how well we are preparing our students to be effective and successful advocates valued by employers and their clients. That is why it is easy to be so proud of the achievements of our alumni who have distinguished themselves in every area of law, from corporate and securities law to sports and entertainment to real estate and litigation to politics and government policy, and of course, oh so important, public service. We thank all of you for staying engaged with the school long after graduation and coming back to mentor and teach and share your wisdom and success with our students. You help us make Brooklyn Law School the connected community that we are. In that spirit, I want to thank a few pivotal members of our law school community. First, Michael K. Hill, who rejoined us in 2019 as Joseph Crea Dean and President. Less than a year into his deanship, Michael K. Hill quickly found himself shepherding the law school through the COVID-19 pandemic. It was far from an easy time, and we appreciate Dean Cahill's selfless leadership, hard work, and dedication. Happily, this is not a goodbye to Dean Cahill. We are delighted that Michael will remain on our faculty, returning to his most beloved role, teaching criminal law, hopefully for generations of students to come. I particularly want to express my gratitude to the faculty, alumni, and trustees who served on our Dean Search Committee, many of whom are here today. Special thanks go to trustee and alumna Eileen Nugent, who led the search committee through this long and challenging process. Eileen, we could not have done this without your great insights, endless patience, and tireless leadership. This national search resulted in 7 finalists, each of whom was a current or former dean of a top-ranked law school. In total, 17 current or former law school deans and 1 college president were among those who applied to be dean and president. 3 other candidates who did not make it to our finalist round have recently been named deans at other law schools. By far, the broadest and most inclusive search in the law school's history, with a total of 20 candidates who were current, former, or newly minted law school deans. So bravo to the search committee. They truly deserve our appreciation. So with that, I have the great honor and privilege of introducing you to our new dean and president, David Meyer. Dean Meyer joins us from Tulane Law School, where he has been the dean since 2010. He comes to Brooklyn Law School with a distinguished and tenacious record of accomplishment. He's the 7th longest-serving law school dean in the United States. As any of you who watched the most recent season of Your Honor knows, remaining on top in the Big Easy for over a dozen years ain't easy. Before becoming dean of Tulane, Dave Meyer was on the faculty of the University of Illinois College of Law, where he was also the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Dave Meyer is a leading scholar of constitutional law and family law. He previously served as U.S. National Reporter on Family Law at several congresses of the International Academy of Comparative Law, and from 2016 to 2020 as an associate reporter on the American Law Institute's Children and the Law Restatement Project. He is also an elected member of the American Law Institute. Dean Meyer earned his bachelor's degree with highest honors and his JD magna cum laude from the University of Michigan, both from the University of Michigan, where he also served as editor-in-chief of the Michigan Law Review. Following law school, Dean Meyer clerked for Judge Harry Edwards on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit and for Justice Byron White on the United States Supreme Court. Before embarking on his academic career, he was legal advisor to the Iran-United States Claims Tribunal in The Hague and practiced law in Washington, D.C. and Chicago. As some of you already know and have commented to me today, this is somewhat of a homecoming for Dean Meyer. He knows 250 Girolamo Street well because he was, in fact, right here at Brooklyn Law School as a visiting professor in 2008. From our very first conversation, we could tell that Dean Meyer shared the law school's commitment to providing inclusive education for students who might not otherwise have access to legal education. At Tulane Law, he hired the law school's first assistant dean for equity, diversity, and inclusion. He oversaw the expansion of experiential education for law students in areas such as business literacy, lawyering skills, and tracks of civil litigation and criminal practice, among others. Additionally, his support and participation has positioned Tulane's annual corporate law conference as the premier M&A corporate and securities law conference in the country, drawing this past March more than 1,000 participants from around the country. Certainly, the stature of Dean Meyer in the corporate law community will benefit our students in the years ahead as they seek employment. Lastly, but certainly very important, Dean Meyer has shown himself to be a tireless and adept fundraiser. At Tulane, he led the law school's efforts in a university-wide capital campaign, raising $50 million for the law school. And during his long tenure, he has almost tripled the law school's endowment. Yes, tripled. We'll certainly take that, Dave.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. But you're going to do better in Brooklyn. For all these reasons, and with great confidence, we believe that in Dave Meyer, we have selected a dynamic leader who will continue to move Brooklyn Law School forward as the preeminent independent law school in the United States. We're going to celebrate Dave Meyer's appointment in a reception on the 10th floor of the Subotnick Center, where you will have a chance to meet him. But first, it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to Dean David Meyer.
Thank you so much, Frank, for those very kind words and very generous words. I just want to say, before saying anything else, above all, how really excited and grateful I am to be joining the Brooklyn law community. And I want to mention also that my wife, Amy Gaida, who will be coming here as well, was so disappointed not to be able to be here for this occasion. She also is thrilled, but she is teaching her last classes with final student presentations today. And so I can only say, as a dean, I have to approve of her diligence in that choice. But as Frank said, this really does feel like a homecoming for me. This is, as Frank mentioned, Amy and I were visiting professors here 15 years ago. And that visit, though it was only half a year, really left a powerful impression on us about just how special Brooklyn Law School really is. We loved our students and were amazed with the life experience and the perspective they brought to the classroom. We were deeply impressed with the intellectual breadth of this faculty and the vitality and ambition of the scholarly culture here. And our visit also left its marks on our two children, who are then young, going to grade school at Brooklyn Friends School, of course, the old Brooklyn Law School building, and then it changed their lives. It really did. And they scrambled back here as soon as they had free will and have stayed here, and both of them now make their homes in Brooklyn. So our affection and respect for Brooklyn Law School is really quite personal, and we could not be more excited about coming home. The opportunity to lead Brooklyn Law School is an enormous privilege under any circumstances and at any time. But the opportunity to lead it at this moment truly feels extraordinary. And I say that first because of the particular moment in which we are now living in our country's history. As we all know all too well, we have experienced a cascade of crises in recent years: economic turmoil following the Great Recession and beyond, the epidemic of racial injustice highlighted by the murders of George Floyd and too many others, a global pandemic that caused massive dislocation and exposed deep-grained disparities in the distribution of risks and hardships, the rise of extremism and partisan polarization that now challenges the very foundations of our democracy, a major war in Europe, and the rise of global conflict the world over that threatens to undo decades of progress towards peace and security, and a climate crisis that threatens the future of our planet. Each one of these crises highlights the vital importance of the rule of law and of lawyers, the essential role that lawyers play in maintaining a society in which reason and evidence prevail over passion, power, and prejudice has never been clearer. or more urgent, which means that legal education has never been more important than it is today, and that the work we will do in the years just ahead is vital. But I also say that the opportunity to lead Brooklyn Law School now, at this time, is especially significant because of the particular moment in Brooklyn Law School's own history. Over 12 decades, Brooklyn Law School has built a proud identity as a school defined by both ambition and a commitment to access and opportunity. As it approaches its milestone 125th anniversary in 2026, it has an opportunity to leverage that identity to lead the urgent agenda that lies ahead for our society, and to rally support from alumni and friends to cement Brooklyn Law School's place among the very best law schools. Brooklyn's founding mission as an institution of access speaks to the urgent need to welcome the full spectrum of talent in this country to the profession and to prepare them for careers of impact and leadership. The scholarly excellence of this faculty, spanning topics of urgent national importance from criminal justice and civil liberties to innovation and entrepreneurship, speaks to the opportunity for Brooklyn to lead, to bring its expertise to bear and to lead national conversations in confronting the greatest challenges that lie ahead for our country. Clearly, we have our work cut out for us, but we also have an extraordinary opportunity to raise Brooklyn's renown as a national leader among law schools and preparing future generations of creative, talented lawyers from all backgrounds for leadership in an era when their talents have never been more needed. I want to thank all of you sincerely for the opportunity to join the Brooklyn Law School community at this important moment. We are really humbled and excited for the work ahead, and I look forward to learning from all of you and to collaborating with you as we together chart a path that will take Brooklyn Law School to new heights in the years ahead. Of course, I also want to take this opportunity to add my own thanks to Frank and to Eileen and to all of the members of the search committee for their hard work and help in making it possible for me to be here today. I also want to express my admiration and appreciation for Dean Cahill for his extraordinary leadership during a time of enormous challenge, and for his generous assistance to me in this process as well. And to the many other members of the Brooklyn law community who have reached out and offered their help and assistance to me. And will be taking you up on it. I will need your help as I join you. So this is really a very special community, and it is such an honor to join you, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you very much.